सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये. On. In the previous class, we started off with, you can't hear? Good volume. Am I audible to everybody on screen? Sushma ji, even I can't hear you. Yeah. You can hear me now? Sushma ji, you can hear me now? Am I audible? Am I audible? To nobody. Om. Om. Lakshmi ji கேக்குறதா நான் பேசுறது? Lakshmi ji யாருக்குமே கேட்கல. I can hear all of you, but Om. Om. இல்லை இந்த கம்ப்யூட்டரோட ஆடியோவில் ஏதோ ப்ராப்ளம். ஒரு நிமிஷம் ரீஜாயின் பண்ணோம்ல, லீவ் பண்ணி ரீஜாயின் பண்ணு. ஆடியோ ஆன் பண்ணாத ரியல் டெக் ஆடியோ வேணுமா? அதனாலேயோ எனக்கு டவுட்டு. Camera. Om. Om. Am I audible now? Audible now? Yes. Okay. Great. Okay. In the previous class, we started off with the Sahasranamam, and we saw that the first shloka has, sorry? We cannot hear you. You can't hear me again? Om, you can hear me now? Yes, okay. In the previous class, we started off with the Sahasranama portion, and we saw that the first shloka in the Sahasranama has 9 namas, and the first nama was Vishwam. So the nama, we saw that Vishwam being in neuter gender, that was a bit of grammar, but even if you don't understand the grammar part of it, just leave it, it's okay. Just understand the explanation, what is being taught in the class, that is enough. The grammar is for extra grasping, but even without the grammar, if you are able to understand the explanation, it is fantastic, it is still fantastic. Okay, so this nama addresses Bhagavan in his absolute form, his absolute form being Arupa Ishvaraha, or technically, Vedantically, he is called Nirgunam Brahma. So understand that when we say Brahma or Nirgunam Brahma, it means Arupa Ishvaraha, the one who is formless, colorless, nameless, attributeless, and who is not associated with any of the created object. Okay, So just understand this. We will have more clarity the more we, the deeper we study Shastra. Alright. So the question was, we had 3 parts to this explanation to understand the question, how is he addressed, Nirgunam Brahma addressed with the name of the product, which is the universe. The universe is called Vishwam. How is Brahman named after the product itself? So in this understanding, we took this nama in 3 portions. So first we saw the meaning of the word Vishwam. How do we understand the meaning of the word Vishwam? I choose to repeat this section because I understand that this was a little difficult for some students in the previous class, and therefore I choose to repeat this. Am I very feeble or it's fine? The audio is fine. It's fine. Okay. So the meaning of the word Vishwam is Vivida Pratyaya Gamyam. Vishwam is called so because it is known, this world is known through various ways. You have the 5 senses to know this universe, and you have also other supporting instruments that support or enhance your senses so that you are able to study and understand this universe. For that we saw microscope and telescopes as an example. So this is the first part of the understanding, that Vishwam is called so because the meaning of the word Vishwam is Vivida Pratyaya Gamyam, meaning that which is known or that which is cognized through various instruments. Now the second part of the understanding of this nama, why is Brahman called Vishwam? Brahman being the cause of this universe, as we saw in the earlier classes, how can the cause be called after the product? For example, father is the cause and son is the product, right? Normally son is called after the father's name. He has the father's name as his last name normally, right? But here we see that the father is named after the son. Bhagavan is named after the world that is created by him, Vishwam. Why so? Because whenever, we took the example of the pot. Whenever you say pot, it indicates the cause. It actually refers to the clay only. This is the first reason. And the second reason is, if you go further, the first reason you say because of the second reason. The second reason is, there is no separate entity called pot outside. What exists as pot or what appears as pot is nothing but the clay only. So when I say pot, it is another name for the clay only. Therefore, Vishwam, there is no separate entity called world other than Ishvara himself. It is Ishvara who is the cause of this universe, who is appearing as the very universe itself, being the material cause of this universe. Therefore, Vishwam is another name for the cause, Ishvara himself. Okay? And the third part to this understanding was an interesting part where we were trying to understand why Vishwam is first of all called Vishwam. The dictionary meaning was Vivida Pratyaya Gamyam, that which is cognized through various ways. The other, I don't choose to use the word philosophical. The other meaning is, the deeper understanding is, because we took the Upanishads as the background for this, and we said, wherever Srishti is explained in the Upanishads, we see that there is a section called Anupravesha Shruti, where like a tale Upanishad explains, it explains how this Srishti came into being, how this creation came into being, and it says God first created the bodies and then he entered the bodies. Because he entered the bodies, it is called Vishwam. Okay, at the time of creation, he enters all the bodies. He indwells all the bodies. Therefore, this is called Vishwam. And the other reason is, at the time of Pralaya, all these bodies enter him. They resolve into the cause. Therefore, it is called Vishwam. So, we saw the derivations of this as well. For those who are interested in recalling the derivation, Vishati iti Vishwam, because God enters the bodies, and Vishanti sarvani bhutani asmin, unto whom all these bodies enter or resolve. That is why Vishwam is called Vishwam. So, this was the first nama. The second nama is Vishnu. Vishnu means all pervading. And the third nama is Vashatkara. Vashatkara, we saw that Shankara presents the meaning of Vashatkara in 4 stages. So, first is the Devata of the Yajna, to whom the prayer is done. He is called as Vashatkara. Any Devata to whom the prayer is done is called Vashatkara. And it is God in the Almighty, Ishvara, in the form of the Devata as well. We saw that. And the second part is the offering done in the Yajna. The Ahuti that is offered into the fire in the Yajna, the offering is called Vashatkara, because that is also Ishvara. Ishvara being every name and form, that is also Ishvara. And the third is, there is a Devata named Vashatkara, therefore this Nama also refers to that Devata who is not different from the Almighty Ishvara. And the fourth part is the mantras chanted where it says Vashat or Swaha while offering the Ahuti in the fire. The mantra and the very utterance of mantra is Ishvara. Therefore, every aspect of this creation is Ishvara. So, this was Vishwam, Vishnu and Vashatkara. Now, the fourth nama, Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Before we enter into this, I would like to recall a small portion that we already studied earlier. When we talk of consciousness principle, which is the absolute reality of Ishvara and also the absolute reality of Jiva, of every individual. Now, how do I understand this consciousness as myself? How do I say consciousness is my real self? There is a methodology in understanding this which is called as Drik-Drishya-Prakriya. This is taught, this methodology is used as the initial teaching methodology for introducing consciousness. So, when I observe this pot or any object in front of me, there is an object and there is an object that is observed or experienced, and there is an experiencer who is me, right? The observer principle or the experiencer principle, that is me, right? I am there and the object is there. Therefore, I, the subject, the observer, the experiencer is different from the object that is observed or experienced by me. When I say this is experienced by me, therefore this is different from me. This is not me, right? Okay. The next step is, every object in this creation is an object, whether tangible or intangible, is an object that I experience. Therefore, the logic is, if I experience an object, where I experience an object, the object is different from the subject. The observer is different from the observed. That is the logic, right? Now let us go one step further. My body. Do we experience the body or not? Yes, I do experience the body. Therefore, this body, I see my body, I touch my body, I experience my body, right? Therefore, I, the experiencer, the same rule, the same logic has to apply here. I, the experiencer, is different from the experienced body, right? And then now one more step further. My breath, okay, the breath goes in and goes out. Take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. You experience your breath, right? Therefore, your breath is different from you. You are not your breathing. Okay? Up to this, it is very easy and comfortable to understand. Now we go one more step further. Do you know or see the thoughts that come in your mind? Yes, you do witness the thoughts that happen in your mind. So you are the observer of the thoughts in your mind as well. Therefore, you are different from your mind. You cannot be your mind. Because you know your mind, you are the knower of the mind, and the mind becomes known. Therefore, you are not the mind. You are the knower of the mind. Alright. Now one more step further. You know what you know, and you also don't know what you don't know. Now if I ask a question, do you know Hindi? Some of you may say, yes, I know. Some of you may say, no, I don't know. So, and I ask, do you understand? Okay, I hope all of you will say, yes, I understand. Okay, or where you say, I don't understand, you understand or you know what you know, and you also are able to know what you don't know, which means you are the observer of the knowing faculty in you. The knowing faculty being the intellect. Therefore, you are not the intellect as well. You are the knower of the intellect. And one more step further. You recall whatever happened in the past, whatever happened in the previous class, whatever happened yesterday, what food you had yesterday, or what food you had for lunch today. So, all these things you are able to recall from your memory. And when somebody comes in front of you, some stranger comes in front of you and he or she asks you, do you remember me? We have met once. And you blink, you are not able to recall. And you say, no, I don't remember. So, you are able to know what you can recall and what you cannot recall. You are able to know what you remember and what you don't remember also. Therefore, you are the observer of the faculty of memory as well. Therefore, you are not the memory also. Who are you then? You are the witness principle of all of these. That is your absolute reality. You are the witness of the objects around you. You are the witness of your physical body. You are the witness of your breath. You are the witness of your mind, the thoughts in it. You are the witness of the knowing faculty, what you know, what you don't know. You are the witness of the faculty of memory. You are the witness of everything. This is your absolute reality. This is the consciousness principle, what we call as the consciousness principle, which Shastra reveals as your true nature. It is only that consciousness principle, or this consciousness principle, which is you, and everything else is an object that you experience. You experience everything in your dream world. That is not you. You experience total blankness during deep sleep. Again, you are not the blankness, you are not nullity, because you experience it. Technically, in Shastram, this witness principle is called as Sakshi, and again, we will hit upon that name very soon in the Sahasranama. Okay, now let us get into, with this background today, let us get into this beautiful Nama, Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Okay, Bhuta means not any ghost or something. Okay, Bhuta means past tense, the past. Bhavya means the future. Bhavat, Bhavat means present. Prabhu means the Lord. Therefore, Bhutam Bhavyam Bhavaccha iti Bhuta Bhavya Bhavanti Tesham Prabhu. This is the definition given by Shankara. I'll tell you what he is telling. He is telling he is the Lord of the past, the future, and the present. Bhagavan, Ishvara, is the Lord of the past, the future, and the present, and this is presented as a Nama itself, the Lord of the past, future, and present. Now, the Lord of the past, when you say, for example, during the Second World War, Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of Britain. He was the Lord of Britain. He was in the past. Now he is not. Okay. So when you say, is it the same way Bhagavan is also addressed, that he was the Lord? No. He was the Lord, meaning he is the Lord of the past, does not mean that he has lost his existence. He is the Lord of the future also, he is the Lord of the present also. Meaning, he is not limited by time. He is the Lord of the time and space, and more with particular reference to time, because it is talking about the three tenses here. This Nama refers to the three tenses, so we will stick to that he is the Lord of the time principle. When you say, I am the Lord of something, I am not bound by that, right? So when we say Bhagavan is the Lord of time, Kaleshwaraha, as he is otherwise Mahakaleshwar, as he is called in Ujjain, he is the Lord of time, meaning he is not bound by the time principle. And interestingly, this time principle is the greatest myth. I am telling you, this time is the greatest myth. Now, let's try to understand something about this time. Say, somebody is eating breakfast and it is 9 a.m. in the morning, and you ask that person, what are you doing? And what will he say? I am eating. Then you go back at 9:15, you say, what are you doing? Or you call up and ask, what are you doing? I am eating. At 9:30, what are you doing? I am eating. 9:45, what are you doing? I am eating. And 10 o'clock, you call up and he says, I am eating, I am about to finish. And as you talk, it is past 10 and he says, I have finished. I just finished my breakfast. Now, that entire 1 hour with reference to eating breakfast, that entire 1 hour was present tense for the eater. Right? Because he said eating, 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 eating. It was eating, 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 eating for 1 hour. So, entire 1 hour is present tense. That is what you say, right, in English? Eating means present tense. Ate is past. Will eat is future. No? Like that. So, the entire 1 hour is present. Now, you happen to meet a music teacher and you don't know who she is. You get introduced and you talk, you make friends with that person and you ask, what do you do? She says, I teach music. So, for how many years have you teaching music? She says, I have been teaching music for 40 years. Okay. So, I have been teaching music for 40 years. Now, the entire 40 years, which means 25 years ago, from 39 years ago, she was a music teacher. Then 25 years ago, she was teaching music. 15 years ago, she was teaching music. 5 years ago, she was teaching music. Just 1 year back in 2024 also, she was teaching music. So, the entire 40-year period with reference to teaching music was present tense. Okay? Closely follow this. It's very interesting. Whenever we talk about time, no, it is very interesting. And now, suppose the third person you meet happens to be Bhagavan himself. Suppose, okay? And you ask him, what do you do? So, what do you do? What will Bhagavan say? I create, I sustain, I resolve. This is what I do, right? I don't do anything else. I create, I sustain, I resolve. Now, all these three are simple present. Okay, I create, I sustain, I resolve. For how many years? The entire Srishti Kala. Okay, the entire period of Srishti for whatever million, trillion years is present tense for Bhagavan. Okay, so every moment for Bhagavan, who is the cause of that time? Now, every moment, just this is very beautiful for meditation, okay? Just observe as I tell you, this moment, okay, this moment, present, gone. Now that is past. Now this new moment is present, gone. Now this new moment, present. Now that is also gone. So, Bhagavan creates this Srishti, he sustains this Srishti and he withdraws this Srishti. When he withdraws the Srishti, he withdraws the time principle as well. So, there is no moment, or this every moment that we saw did not even last, right? Every moment was disappearing. And the entire Srishti Kala also, which is Bhagavan's present, will also disappear. And he was the Lord of the past, he is the Lord of the present, and he is also the Lord of the future. Being the Lord of the past, present and future, he is not bound by time at all. Now, when we say he is not bound by time, does it mean that the faculty of time, the principle of time is outside of Bhagavan, that it does not come close to him at all? No, it cannot be, because time also resolves in him. So, he is not inside time definitely, because he is not bound by it, and he is not outside of time also. So, what does that mean? He is the very principle of time. Time is Ishvara. As we just saw, he is worshipped as Kaleshwara in Mahakaleshwar, Ujjain. He is worshipped as the principle of time itself. So, Ishvara as the limitless consciousness principle is timeless, and he is time also. If you analyze time, time is denoted in 3 tenses, right? Past, present and future. So the past was once the present, and then future will become present after some time. Now this present, when I say, it implies a length of time. Now what is present for us, for all of us in this class? What is the present? Vishnu Sahasranama class is present. I am listening, I hope so. Okay, I am listening. So when I say I am listening, that is in present tense. And I am listening for 1 hour. So the entire 1 hour is listening, meaning it is present. So this present can be a minute, an hour, a day, a month, a week, a year, a decade, a century, a millennia, or even the entire Srishti Kala. Correct? It is the entire time is broken into different units for our understanding. It is just the way we break it down for us to count or to understand. Now, what is this time now? What is the stuff of time? When I say time, what is it made of? If one has to understand what is the material of time, what is time made of? If this is the question, then say when you think of a length of time, okay, just put your pens down and close your eyes. Okay, this moment right now, stay focused. Now, this moment right now is, this moment is you, the observer, is, you are. This moment right now. Right now. There is no other object. Now the time, and there is no other object. You are at this moment. Om. So, what was the stuff of that moment, of that length of time? It was you, the consciousness, and nothing else. The truth of time is nothing but the consciousness principle, which is timeless. The truth of time is nothing but the timeless consciousness principle, which is the very fabric of time. In fact, there is no time at all. What is only the timeless consciousness principle. Just like how the fabric of this pot is clay and nothing but clay, so also the fabric of time is nothing but you, the consciousness principle. So, when I show you this pot, or when I show you any other example, they all rest in time. they all exist in time, and they all resolve in time. And the very fabric of that time is you, the consciousness principle. So, you, the consciousness, is the truth, and nothing else is the truth. This is really worth meditating, and Shankara gives this in his Bhashyam, not here but in some other place. So, consciousness or Atma, the self, or Brahman, that is Vishnu. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. That is this Nama. Now the fifth Nama is Bhuta Krit. Bhuta Krit has two meanings. So we've seen four meanings as of now: Vishwam, Vishnu, Vashatkara, and the fourth is Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. The fifth is Bhuta Krit. See, some namas will take a long time for explaining, and some namas we will quickly run through, okay? So it is not like somebody asked me, so how many namas do you cover in a class? No, it is not like I cover 10 namas or 15 namas every class, therefore there are 108 namas, and therefore divided by the average number of namas per class, so many classes. No, it doesn't work like that, okay? Some namas require a lot of explanation for understanding, some namas may not. Bhuta Krit. Bhuta Krit has two meanings. The first meaning is, he is the creator of this world. Bhutani karoti iti Bhuta Krit. He is the creator of the entire world. So, he as Brahmaji, as Chaturmukha Brahmadeva, using his Rajoguna of Maya, which is under his control, does the job of creation. So first what came out is, Shastram says the first born were the elements, the 5 elements, and thereafter all the elementals were born as a mix-up of the 5 elements. And the 5 elements also have an order in their birth, okay? First is Akasha, and then Vayu, then Agni, Jala, Prithvi. You shouldn't mix up when you say this, okay? So, the 5 elements were born, and then all the objects were born, which are a mixture of these 5 elements in different proportions. So, all things, including my body, my mind, my intellect, my memory, just everything, my prana, everything were born out of these 5 elements. So, all the 5 elements and all the elementals that were born of these elements were all ultimately born of him, the Ishvara. He is the creator, Bhuta Krit. This is the first meaning. The second meaning is, Bhuta Krit also will refer to the one who is the destroyer of everything. So first meaning is, he is the creator of everything. The second meaning is, he is the destroyer of everything. Bhutani krintati krinoti hinasti itiva Bhuta Krit. Meaning, he is the destroyer. It is unto whom everything resolves. So in the form of Rudra, using the tamoguna of the Maya, which is under his control, he destroys everything, or he resolves or dissolves everything into him. This is the fifth Nama, Bhuta Krit, which we saw has two meanings. One, he is the creator of this universe. Number two, he is the destroyer of this universe as well. Third, sorry, there is no third. The sixth Nama is Bhuta Brit. Bhuta Brit means, Bhuta Krit has two meanings. Now Bhuta Brit, there is one thing that got left out in the fifth Nama. What was that? Creator principle was told, destroyer principle was told. The sustaining principle is Bhuta Brit. Okay. So with the help of the Sattva Guna, Maya is the power of Ishvara, and the Upanishads refer to Maya as Param Shakti, which means it is the Shakti of Ishvara. Maya is defined as Trigunatmika. Trigunatmika means the one that has three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So with the help of Rajas he creates, with the help of Tamas he resolves, and the leftover one is Sattva. So with the help of Sattva he maintains or protects this universe. Bhutani bibharti dharayati, dharayati meaning sustaining, iti bhutabhrit. Also poshayati, he also nourishes, he sustains and he nourishes. He keeps the world going on. He keeps the world going on. And being the material cause, he is in the form of this world. He is in the form of this world itself. And being the intelligent cause of this universe, he is the sustainer of this world. So he is the world and he is also the sustaining principle of this world. That is the sixth nama, Bhuta Bhrith. The seventh nama, Bhavaha. Bhavaha means existence. Bhavaha means existence. It is derived from the Sanskrit root Bhu Sattayam, which means existing. He being the material cause of this universe, Prapancha Rupena Bhavati. He exists as this universe itself. He exists in the form of this world itself, and therefore Bhavaha. He is the existence. Also, he is Kevalam Bhavati. Kevalam Bhavati means he is the pure existence. Now when I say this clip exists, the pot exists, okay, the book exists. So every object you take in front of you has an existence, right? Exists, 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 exists. Every object exists. We always understand, or we have always been given to the understanding of existence as an adjective of every noun that we know, right? Existent pot, existent book, existent clip, right? Shastram says existence is not the adjective and it presents existence as the noun itself, okay? All right. To understand that, we have to dive deep into the Upanishads. As of now, existence, that which is outside, where you say existence, existence for every object that you observe and experience around you in this world, the existence principle is nothing but the conscious principle in you that we just saw some time back. And in the introduction classes, if you recall, we saw that the consciousness principle, we can understand consciousness principle in 5 points, right? Just in the same way, we can understand existence also in the same 5 points. Point number 1, existence is not a part, product or property of any object that you observe. Point number 2, it pervades every object you observe. Point number 3, it is not bound by the boundaries of any object that you observe. It is not limited by the boundaries of any object, meaning it is limitless existence. And which means, the 4th point, existence continues to be in existence even after the object that you experience goes out of existence. And point number 5, therefore, existence being different from the object and which gives the easiness to the object. When you say clip is, the existence lends the easiness to this object. That existence in its pure form cannot be experienced as an object. These are very, I should say, terse teachings from the Upanishad. Anyway, this much of an understanding, if you can gather something out of this, it is great. So this explanation of existence is very similar to the explanation of the consciousness principle, which we just saw, that I am the consciousness principle and I am different from what I observe. I, the subject, is different from the known, the observed or the experienced. So, just the similar way, this existence is also presented. We will recap this once again in the next class and we will proceed with the other namas. So, we have completed 7 out of 9 namas in the first shloka and we will continue with this in the next class next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.